Okay, before we get started, if you hear noises in the background, they're firing fireworks off in the streets right now. This is being done on the 6th of July. It's past 12 over here. And my neighbors in the Bronx are insanely crazy. Because before the 4th of July, on the 4th of July, and after the 4th of July, they keep firing off fireworks. Look, let me give you a quick example. The 3rd of July, 11 p.m., nearly 12 in the morning, going into the 4th of July, it was reasonably quiet. They threw a couple of fireworks out. The minute it turned 12 a.m., 4th of July, they started firing off fireworks like it was 9 p.m. in the night on the 4th. And this is legitimately 12:02 a.m. the 4th of July, and it lasted all the way up until about 6 in the freaking morning. The fire department had to be called out not once in my area, not twice in my area, 3 times. Ambulances in my area hadn't been called once. They were called 4 times, and the police kept going back and forth across my area insanely. This is how crazy it is living in this area. I wish I could move out, but there's nowhere affordable. Anyway, what did we get for this Impact? I'm going to be honest here. I've said this before and I'll say it again. For months, and I've said this, Impact Wrestling has given us more than WWE. Yes, and I've said this clearly. A lot of the storylines don't work for me. They are either uncaring or they just suck because they were just done badly. But at least you can follow them. At least they make sense. The matches have been good. They haven't been heavily limited like they are in the WWE. And I'm not saying that Impact is perfect. And a lot of people say I'm a fanboy. I'm being honest here. I'm a reviewer. If the WWE is doing it right, I would say it. Now, I don't watch NXT, but if the WWE and the main roster, remember, we're not talking about developmental. We're talking about the main roster of both SmackDown and Raw. If they do it right, I would say it. Impact, I'm going to say it if they do it right. AEW, I'm going to say it. If I watch ROH, like some people will say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to watch ROH. Not because I don't think it's good. It's just that I can't do so many shows because it's going to scramble me and I'm going to lose interest in wrestling. I have to be careful how many shows I review because I will burn myself out and I will depress myself, and I just can't do that. So something's got to be gained, something has to be lost. And at the end of this review, if I do not forget, I am going to say this. My thoughts about AEW and if I'm going to stop doing wrestling for WWE. I think I'm going to explain that at the end of this if I don't make this too long. But anyway, you get my point. Impact has been better. Not because it's been a superior show, but at least they give you something to work with. Until this show. This is the last show before Slammiversary. And I'm being honest here. The ending of the show completely turned me off. 100%. I got turned off to this show, no matter, it's been okay. I'm not going to say it was good. It was okay for what it was. But the ending turned me off. And when it comes to Slammiversary, my interest has just dropped from being here to here. This is what WWE is. This is what Impact was for hype. They just lost me a bit because of what they showed me at the end of this show. Now let's move on. This first match, which is the opening, was great. I did like it. But here was a catch-22 for me personally. You got TJ Perkins coming back, TJP. You got Ace Austin. Both of them are great wrestlers. Both need to have some wins under the belts. Both of them need to have storylines. Because TJP coming back is a big deal. He just left the WWE like about a year and a half ago almost, I think. And he's been traveling around. He's been rebuilding himself after he pretty much got demolished by the WWE. And he's doing well. Then you got Ace Austin, just came into the company maybe at least 3 or 4 months ago. Or 5 months ago, actually, I think. Somewhere around then. He really hasn't been given that much prominent story time. He really hasn't been given anyone really to get over on. Or to work with in a feud. So both of them really needed something. And then they stuck them together. Which, wrestling is great. They're both very competent wrestlers. But I don't want to see Ace Austin job. And I didn't want to see TJ Perkins' job. And you just gave me a very good match that lasted almost 20 minutes, I think. Like 18 minutes, I think. 16 to 18 minutes. And legitimately, no story behind it, just a match. And Ace Austin jobs. And if you have been seeing any images, you can see how the match was pretty good. I tried to catch as much as I could, but they moved around pretty quick. You got to make sure you catch it just right. And they were both great wrestlers, but in the end, this sucks because Ace Austin just jobbed again to TJ Perkins. Now, I'm not saying TJ doesn't deserve to have someone job for him. He's not Impact original, but he's been there a long time. He's a well-known Impact star, a well-known wrestler, and he deserved to get some build-up. You know what? I don't know if anyone's ever seen this match outside of Impact. As far as I know, it's never happened. TJ Perkins versus DJZ. I want to see how these two interact. They're both Filipino wrestlers. And as far as I've ever can remember from the time I've been watching Impact since 2010, I've never seen either one of them interact at all. Not unless it was like in a tag match, or if it was in a triple threat, or if it was just like for Destination X or Ultimate X, where they had to go up against a multitude of people, because when TJ Perkins was suicide, I know he went up at DJZ then. But have you ever seen them go one-on-one together? I want to see that match. I don't know if it'd be good, but I want to see. Now, let's move on. The Debsy Hit Squad had a moment. Gama said to Raju, "You are now a member of the Debsy Hit Squad family. You're not just a wrestler for me, you are now family. I got a tea set here that is handed down through generations. I'm put some tea in it, and me, you, my son are going to drink, and you're going to feel like real family." Then the Deaners come in and pour beer in it. What does this actually mean? Was that a real feud? To really spark the feud up? Because once they drink it and they realize the Deaners are the ones who did it, and then Raju goes back a second time and say, "Well, the beer's not bad." What does this mean? Not a lot. Then you got Raju go up against the Dorado Kid. I remembered his name. Good match. Until it was about a couple of minutes in, the lower turnbuckle broke away from its... Oh my... It's in my face. That is bad. Someone did not do their job properly. That was the ring crew. Did not tighten up that bottom ring rope properly, because someone could have been seriously hurt. Dorado Kid could have hurt himself, even if it wasn't very far for him falling. But when they do their moves going into those turnbuckles, they need that bottom turnbuckle to make sure they can take and balance themselves when they absorb a hit. There was no bottom turnbuckle, and they had to keep working. That was dangerous, and that was a bad mark for Impact. I'm saying it clear, that was a bad mark. Flat out. Raju wins, but they don't say, "We're coming after you, Deaners. What you just did to us, what you just did to my tea set," and that's Gama. "We're coming for you." No. They don't really capitalize on it. They don't really do anything about it. So it's a missed opportunity, and the segment was just dumb. That's just how I feel, because there was no context to go with it. Now, Cross had a church segment again. "My brothers and sisters," he's in my face. I'm going to do this for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do it. But I'm not Christian anymore. I follow Cherokee belief. But since my family was, well, at least I had a relative who became a bishop. He went through the churches. He owned his own churches. So I'm going to let you have a little church here. Here he is in my face. "And my brothers and sisters, we need to understand that those who have sinned must pay a price. We will pay a price on our sins. Our sins shall and always be paid by God. And God shall take those sins and wash them away by the Holy Ghost. And we will show this at Slammiversary." Now, I'm saying this not exactly as he said. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. I hope you enjoyed that segment. I hope you didn't get insulted. But look, he tried to say that simply put, Eddie is going to learn a lesson that you think you need to wash away your sins in a certain way. There's only one way to do it. Through me, Killer Cross. I am the one that you need to come to free yourself of your pain. And I'm going to prove it at Slammiversary. And then when he took up the chalice, put it to his mouth, drank it, and whatever that was, maybe it probably prune juice or something, because they diluted the colors. It looked good, but I'm going to be honest here, I still don't care about the feud. Because why am I going to care about Killer Cross dealing with Eddie Edwards when honestly, Eddie Edwards, he doesn't really need to do the hardcore all the time. He needed to do something different. He needed to be in the main title picture. Killer Cross needed to be with Moose and go into the title picture instead of the North winning, because I just found out in the the Bash of the Brewery, they just won. Now, unfortunately, I forgot all about that, not pay-per-view, but that show, so I haven't seen it. But now the North has won, and now they are going to have to challenge possibly the Rascals, or if they're going to put LAX with them in a triple threat to get the titles back or to be changing hands. I don't know. It makes really bad sense to have LAX actually job there unless LAX is not with the company anymore. It's hard to say. Who knows? But I don't care about Killer Cross with Eddie. I'm sorry. Now, we have the Rascals. Wes, Dez, and Trey in a triple threat to see who gets kicked out of their tag team. In other words, there are three of them. One of them has to be kicked out. Whoever gets pinned is out of that match at Slammiversary. Was it a good match? Yes, it was a great triple threat. Did I like it? Yes, I did like it to a certain extent because it was a good match. But here's the problem. I don't care about the Rascals. And why wasn't this about the X Division? I'm sorry. These are three X Division guys who have been working in the tag teams, but why haven't they been given the option to try and figure out who is going to go after Rick Swann? One of them should have been challenging for Rick, and the other two go to the Slammiversary. They could have set that up to make it X. I know it's about Johnny Impact and Rick Swann, but you know what I mean? They could have set this up for a future title match for either Johnny or Rick. They could have done something with one of those three. If they lose, the one who pins is the one who's going to go to after Slammiversary and challenge whoever wins Slammiversary's X Division title. That would have been a better situation than doing this. I just didn't like it. I understand they're trying to do something with it, but doesn't mean I liked it. Particularly now that the North, and here they are again, have won the titles, and we don't know what's going to happen. Will it be a triple threat, or will it just be the Rascals by themselves? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a triple threat. Now, let me see here. Su Yung and Havoc were with Father Mitchell, talking about Monsters Ball. And they need to work together so Havoc can win the title and get it off the hands of a Taya Valkyrie. Now, we didn't see Rosemary or Taya. We only saw those three. I'm not sure how to feel. It's obvious they're going to do something with Havoc. But I'm not sure what they're going to do. Is it still going with the Undead Realm, or is it not going with Undead Realm? If the Undead Realm has been taken out of the equation and this is only Father Mitchell being bitter about how Rosemary got the better of him, I can understand it and I can go from there. But it's not like they're totally getting rid of the Undead Realm, but doesn't mean they bring it in either. It's hard to say. I can't say it's good or bad. It's a hard one to really figure out. Alright, Madison Rayne versus Kira Hogan and Jordan Grace at commentary. You guys tell me, is Jordan Grace wearing way too much makeup? I mean, Look, she's not the most gorgeous woman in the world, but she's a good-looking woman. And now she looks like she's almost dressing, well, not dressing, but getting her face up like a, well, what would you call it? She looks like a cheap girl. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say that she's a hooker, but she looks in the face like a hooker. She got way too much makeup on. It's really messing her up. I think Jordynne Grace has always been better natural. I'm that kind of guy. But the point is, she don't look right. Then you got Kiera Hogan and Madison Rayne, who look perfectly fine. And then you have the match in the ring that was not about Madison Rayne. It was more about Jordynne and Kiera Hogan. Now, am I upset about that? No, because Madison Rayne is a veteran compared to them. Whether you like her or not, she's had many years and many experiences holding a title in that company. So, she is considered a veteran. She's earned it. So, having a match with her does make sense. And it would make sense until the end of the match, because Jordynne Grace basically distracted to a certain extent. And even though, yes, how can I say this? Is Jordynne Grace going to have a match with Madison Rayne? I believe so. Madison Rayne getting pissed off because Jordynne Grace distracted everything? It just feels like it's going there. But does this really help their feud? I don't think so. What exactly are you trying to do with Jordynne Grace and Kiera Hogan here? Kiera Hogan should be doing something. Jordynne Grace should be doing something. Madison Rayne should be doing something. To be honest, I think Madison Rayne should have been Knockouts champion already. And I know a lot of people would say, are you serious? Well, yeah. She is a veteran, and it would have helped a lot at one point for a Tessa Blanchard to be going up against a Madison Rayne who was a champ at one point. Doesn't mean it would have been great, but at least it would have been a good experience for her. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Let me see. Am I forgetting anything? No. The final match of the night, and then the thing that pissed me off. And that is Rick Swann and Willie Mack versus the Johnny Twins. I'm not even going to talk much about this. It was a stupid match. And the faces won. And I just don't know how to feel about the match coming for the X Division title. I'm sorry. It was funny. But it does not mean we needed to be funny. I'm sorry. It would have been better if it had been serious or been left. Because you got to have something for a Johnny Impact. I know I'm saying Impact. I don't want to call him Impact. But in this case, I'm just doing it because it needs to be done. Okay? It just feels like it needed more than just to be funny. And seeing Moose dealing with an RVD saying he's Mr. Impact and the other guy is Impact Wrestling. That, you know what I mean. The RVD and Moose thing was cool. And I think it was more serious than the Johnny Twins versus Willie Mack and Rick Swann. I think it should have been switched, kind of. Something funny from RVD compared to this. The final thing we're talking about that totally turned me off is the ending of the show. When you see OVE, and I think it's Jake Chris with Sammy on the rooftop eating, you see before this a Tessa Blanchard with a bat, and I'm thinking, oh no, why'd I have a bad feeling about this? And then you see her come out with the bat and pretty much go ham on them until they beat her up a little bit, but then she manages to rise to the occasion and kick the ass of a Jake and Sammy's acting like a bitch saying, please, no, please, don't hurt me. She's a crazy bitch. She's crazy. He didn't say bitch, but you get my point. And in the end, instead of her maybe walking away, and that wouldn't have made it great, but instead of her maybe walking away, saying, I'm going to see you at Slammiversary, she stands legitimately over him. It's in my face. This turned my ass off. I'm done. You got to understand, guys. It's not the point that it's a woman doing this. I would have the same problem if it was a guy with a guy or a woman with a woman. If you're trying to get someone over, You don't do freaking 50-50 booking. You don't. What could have happened is that she done the same thing, gone in there, but she got her ass handed to her, and they could have still left her laid out, or at least struggling, being so enraged that she got her ass kicked and hammering the floor. I'm going to get him, saying that. That would have been a better ending than this. Because how can you actually believe that Sammy's going to win? I don't care now. I was already not comfortable with this match because of how they're doing the stupid politics in this match. This is identity politics at its finest, where a woman, it don't make a difference, can be superior to a man, not because she has the ability, because Tessa is a great wrestler. She's better than Charlotte Flair. Honestly, she is. But it's not about that. This is about showing a face, a first-time face. Tessa has been a heel since she's been in Impact. This is her first time being a face. And honestly, she should have struggled as a face. Not because she's a woman, but because she's a freaking face. And we didn't get that. It's in my face again. I'm so freaking enraged right now that they could have done something special with this. Yes, they could have done the Daniel Bryan thing at one point where Daniel had been put down and beaten down. Maybe got a little bit back, but always beaten down until the pay-per-view, and then he got what he wanted. Revenge. Justice. That would have been better for Tessa. But as I see it now, Tessa, even if she loses this match, looks bad. Sammy, whether he wins the match or not, looks bad because of this stupid booking of Tessa. I don't blame Tessa. I blame the freaking writers. If this was Gail Kim's idea, I want to smack her in the face and say, why the hell would you do this to her? Because this does not help Tessa Blanchard and makes her look like a freaking feminist that is so superior over the men that it doesn't make a difference who she wrestles. She's always going to be superior. She's going to be more than anyone, which makes her boring. I would do that to her, legitimately. That this makes Tessa Blanchard boring. Not because she's a woman. Not because she can't wrestle because she can. It's because it's easy for her, with no one to beat her as an angry face. No challenge. No rising to adversity as a first-time face. Nothing. What a waste. I do not feel comfortable about this Slammiversary. I'm going to be honest. With that match right there, I am not comfortable with this show. I'm not comfortable with this pay-per-view. I don't feel comfortable about this pay-per-view. Unless it comes out really well, that match, to change my mind, this pay-per-view has major issues I'm not comfortable with. But it's just me. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Oh, wait. Almost forgot. The last thing to talk about, what I said in the beginning of this, about AEW and the WWE. I've already been considering this, and what I've considered is this. I am not going to do Raw or SmackDown during the day. And if SmackDown comes on Fridays, as I said already, I'm not going to skip Impact. When Monday Night Raw comes on, I'm not going to do it. There's a very good possibility I will not be doing SmackDown live reviews. I may look at it, but I might not do it. For Raw, the same thing. I'm actually considering skipping Raw and SmackDown and maybe doing NXT. You guys tell me if you want me to do NXT reviews, because I gotta have a reason to watch the show on a Wednesday. I have to have a reason. If it's... Wait a minute. Isn't AEW coming on Wednesday? If it's Wednesday, I can't watch NXT. So I'm still working on it. My feeling is that I'm not going to do Raw at all, even if it gets better. I'll just watch it. SmackDown, if I don't do a review on a Saturday or Sunday, I'm not going to do a review of it. I'm just going to do AEW and Impact Wrestling, and maybe I will do the WWE pay-per-views only. But you guys tell me how you feel. Should I do that or not? Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!